Hey, good evening, everybody. I am Chuck Rogers, licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I am Keith Dunn, and I have more on my plate than I can get done in a day.
Oh, man, you cannot imagine how many times Keith and I have had this conversation about him overloading his plate.
Yeah, it's crazy. In fact, at one point, we brought cafeteria trays in, and we were going to do a video on it. We still need to do that.
We do, about how you shouldn't overload your plate.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to get there one day.
Hey, tonight we're going to talk about how it is that sometimes we continue to invite people back into our life when we know it's not good for us.
Yeah, that's right. So how do we get past that?
And we recently had one of our subscribers to reach out with a question to us.
Yeah, so we're going to give a response. Maybe not an exact answer.
Yeah, not question and answer, but question and response.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
We'll talk about it. So this is what Mary says. I was wondering if you guys had any suggestions when dealing with someone who is struggling to let someone go, especially when someone ghosts you or plays with your mind by coming in and out of your life. It's been similar to an addiction for me the past few years with a man I dated. The longest I've gone with no contact is 6 months. Whenever I'm starting to feel really depressed, I reach out to him and he plays the game, pretending to be happy to hear from me and interested in catching up, even so much as to make plans, and then he disappears. I know how unhealthy it is. With the amount of rejection I've dealt with, it's as though I'm wanting to break through and win his attention, and I just keep trying. Any tips? This came after we did the video. It was the velvet rope policy number 2. It was your idea to do it with a personal.
From a personal standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in the video number 1, the velvet rope was to turn away business. Don't let every person who wants to be your, what do we call it, your customer. Don't let them. Don't just let everybody be your customer. And then you said, well,
turn people away.
Yeah. Can that apply to relationships as well? And so we did the velvet rope policy number 2 with that.
Yeah, so we'll put a link to that up here so you can see that, because it's really good and it applies to almost every situation.
Yeah, I think so. And that's what Mary was referring to here, was how it is that she continues to take that velvet rope up, let this person, or at least invite this person back into her life. He doesn't come in, but he says he's going to come in and then does it. So what can we help Mary with?
Man, I tell you what, that's a tough one, because every situation is different, and we're drawn to people for different reasons. You know, there can be the reason of just being drawn to someone because you like having them around, or there's somebody who acts as if they are really paying attention to you, whether they are or they aren't. You know, that's to be determined.
Yeah, I think there's some good insight here. One of the things that Mary says is, I'm wanting to break through and win his attention. So what's the payoff? If Mary gets this guy's attention and wins his attention and wins his heart, what does that say about Mary?
Yeah, then if she wins his attention, then she will feel good about herself, because, and it might even go further than that. If I can win this person's attention, then I can win anyone's attention.
Yeah, and look at me. Look how great I am. If I can win over this person who really doesn't want to be with me and change his perspective, and now he likes me and loves me and enjoys me, boy, I must really be something.
Yeah, and there can also be, maybe there's another end goal to this.
What's that?
Maybe it is wanting to win this person over to the point where this person is reaching out to her instead of the other way around.
That would be nice,
Yeah, because it's really tough when you go through things in life and you're trying to push for a relationship, and you invite somebody to breakfast, and then you do something a few weeks later and you never get that reciprocated, and it doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't, if you're always the initiator.
Right.
So the other part of this is that we can continue to brainstorm all day long
Right.
about the whys that Mary continues to reach back to Roger the Lodger, who says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be in your life,"
Right.
and then does it. We can continue to brainstorm all day long and with lots of ideas about why she continues to do that.
Sure.
But if all that we ever do is continue to look for reasons that Mary does this, what's the problem with that?
Yeah, we're not coming up with the actual solution to the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. One of my mentors that I've mentioned many times on our show is Michelle Weiner Davis, and Michelle talks about, she runs the Divorce Busting Institute in Boulder, Colorado, who's written many wonderful books, and I'll probably put some down in the description below. Michelle said that early on she would work with couples and she would help them to see their interactional patterns and how it was that you respond to him because this happened to you in your life, and he responds to you because you this happened to him in his past life.
Okay.
And help them to develop insight about why it was that they treated the other person so poorly.
Right.
And then they would look at Michelle and go, "Yeah, you're 100% right." And we kind of knew that, but the problem is that we have difficulty changing it, Michelle. So how do we change it?
Yeah, how do we fix it?
So Michelle's point is that oftentimes insight leads to insight, which leads to insight,
Right.
which doesn't always lead to change. And
Yeah.
that's what most people are interested in, and that's what Mary's interested in, is she
that
wants
change.
to change this behavior.
Right.
So the other part of this that I find really great is that Mary says the longest I've gone with no contact is 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes, which 6 months is a pretty good time, I
That
think.
is a pretty long time. Once you get to that 6 month mark, if you could just continue to push that on, and maybe this is something where you try to extend your goals. So you made it to 6 months, and so your goal for the next time is a year. And maybe once you get to that year, it won't matter anymore at all.
Yeah, so the very first thing I would do if I were Mary's therapist was I would say, how did you do it? How did you get to 6 months?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I'll bet you at week 1 she wanted to reach out.
I'm sure.
And didn't, or month
Right.
1, or month 2, or 5 months. And I'll bet that there was that longing to reach out to this guy,
Right.
but she didn't. And I'm curious, Mary, how was it that you went 6 months? What did you do?
That's
that
good.
allowed you to be successful for 6 months? So the very first thing I would do would be, what did you do that allowed you to be successful so far?
Right.
The second thing I would ask Mary is, what did you think about doing? What have you thought about doing, but just haven't put it into place yet? What
What
experiments?
domino?
Yeah, what domino to tip?
Yeah, that's right. It's always about dominoes, and it can be, we have talked about this in so many videos, it can just be one tiny domino that you tip that changes the entire game.
Yeah, so what have you done that made you successful?
Right.
What have you thought about doing but haven't done?
Right.
And then the third thing is, what maybe have you never thought about doing? What new ideas might you come
Right.
up with? And my guess is that she's not going to do this by herself.
Okay.
I think you're going to have to put some skin on it and get some ideas from other people.
Talk to someone else.
What other ideas do other people have that would take you past that 6 month mark going
Right.
forward? And you usually can't do that by yourself.
No, that's tough, and that's where it's so great to have someone who you trust
Got to have some other people.
that you can talk to, and that's what Chuck and I have. So
Yeah, it's wonderful.
yeah, so find that person or whoever you have that you trust in your life, and maybe that's somebody you can reach out to and bounce back and
Yeah, I
forth.
tell you what, I bet there's some people out there who've been in Mary's shoes before.
I'm sure.
So if you guys would leave some comments down below for some suggestions
Please,
for things
yeah.
that Mary could try going forward so that she doesn't reach back out to this guy, but
Right.
maybe gets some other people in her life that would treat her a whole lot better.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And if we see some great comments down there, maybe we can add those into
Oh,
another
that'd
video.
be wonderful. Be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, if you liked our content, would you please subscribe? Keith would really appreciate that.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Chuck doesn't care, but I do. No, that's not true. We both care. We would love for all of you to subscribe, ding that bell so you're notified of upcoming
And
episodes.
make sure to like it.
Yeah, share it with your friends.
Thanks, everybody.
Until next time.